using a number format and big decimal. We do have some examples on our Java samples page. Remember, I opened this page, and if you simply look for big decimal like this, press Ctrl F, and you see there are examples showing you how to use big decimals. So I would encourage you to look at those things, and let's see if we have examples of the number format on this list as well. So I'll just change that to a number format. Yes, there is. So just miscellaneous rounding examples with the number format right here. So you'll find some more examples of formatting, and you should be able to explore this on your own, because these examples are quite good to reference. So the number format class, you really do not create it as a new object. You have three methods to allocate it: get currency instance, get percent instance, and get just a plain number instance. And as you go with the number format, you can format it the way you want. You can set minimum fractional digits, you can set the maximum fractional digits, and that allows also to do the actual final display, because sometimes you want to do rounding internally in your data objects or local variables that store your data, and sometimes you don't want to do rounding when you do the computations, and you perhaps want to do rounding only when you're printing, when you displaying your reports or showing something on user screen. Then the number format is used to do the rounding at that time. Right, so these are three possibilities for real numbers, currencies, and percent where the number format is used. I'm not going to spend a lot of time with this, but it is always best to format output of real numbers, right? Something with a fractional part, so such as big decimal, float, or double. It's always you need to give some consideration to how to display it, and this is the number format class is a good example of that, or rather good utility class that can take care of your display formats. And this is an example, once again, just the currency. You can set the locale of the world where you want to use it, and what are the formats, and the currency symbols and all this. It will be handled quite nicely. So there's a percent format for you, where you just have some kind of fractional value, but you want to display it as a percent. So obviously it'll take care of this percent. So it will actually display 50%. Okay, so that's number format. By the way, is using this type of rounding, half up, just a conventional rounding that comes inherent with double data type in Java. And this is an example of decimal points formatting. So you specify that this is how many maximum fraction digits you want, and you want 1, and then you do the formatting here. My only concern here is that let's actually try this, and this came from a sample, so I'll just eliminate this example. I also would like to tell you that when you delete things, and this happens quite often because you can copy and paste from one file to another file, sometimes these things just hang around here and they're no longer needed. So once again, if you fix imports, look what just happened, they were eliminated. So just keep it in mind that fix imports not just finds the correct import statement, it actually sort of like tidies up everything, and the unnecessary imports now removed from this file, which is nice. So now I will copy this and paste it right in the middle. As a result of copy and paste, there's often this kind of disarray of indentation. So of course your friend is to source format everything. Already looks better. And finally, we can go and say, let's fix more of these imports. And there we go. Okay, so my concern is that I think that this number also needs to be done like that. So that, you know, actually, no, it doesn't like it. Apparently, it has a field that it modifies. This one I just wanted to verify it. So miles string and yeah. So let's see what this does to us. And so this is some kind of string that indicates miles. Okay, so we run this, and you see there's some like 15,341.3 miles that somehow we want to be able to display. And let's just take it apart step by step. So we say let's use the number instance, which is like the mode. We want to be able to work not with currencies or something, just plain number, and we want to set maximum fraction digits to be 1, and this is why it printed 0.3. But notice that it also rounded. It was 0.253, so 25 got rounded to 3, obviously by using half up method, the conventional method. And then we take whatever the value is, we give it to format method of this number format. So I call it a number in this example, and it gives you the string with this text, 15,341 dot or period 3. Okay, so that's how it works. Just remember that if you need some formatting, you know, to prettify your output, this is a great way of doing it by using the NumberFormat class in Java library. Okay, so this just gives you another example where you can just put everything together. Like for instance, you have your double value, and you start with this double value, you give it to the format of get %instance of NumberFormat. So instead of creating these temporary variables to an object, you just use this kind of form. This is like a chained series of calls. So what becomes of this is that the dot operator apparently is associated left to right. Okay, so the first thing that we do, or what compiler does for us, that the compiler finds that this is a known class. It comes from here, from this import, so it understands that it has this get %instance. So it invokes this method named get %instance, and this a method call creates an object, and this object in memory is our number format. Right, so this is the NumberFormat object that uses this %mode. And then immediately we tell this object, the next method call goes into this object, and we say we want to format, and we provide the input right here. So this will be given to the object. The object will do processing, and as a result of this, like formatting this number as a %, it will generate a string. Okay, so this will be a string generated for us. With this, the string will contain this 5, 0, and % as we want to print this as a %. And this method eventually returns a reference to this string. So this string reference right here will get a reference to this object in memory. And there's our result, formatted string. And the number format is just a temporarily constructed object, and because we never retain any references to it, beyond this, when this code continues to execute, because we never retain any references to this object, To this object, we do have a reference. To this object, we never retain a reference. We created it here, used it once, and no longer have connection to it. So this will be garbage collected according to the Java garbage collection rules for unreferenced objects. So the memory occupied by this number format object will be returned back to the system, and this object will continue to exist in memory as long as we retain this reference somewhere in our program. But if we get rid of this reference, this object also will be destroyed.